Anaconda is one of the most popular music videos of the year. But why is it the most popular? Is it because of the song itself, the lyrics, the music, the beat, or the controversy that it brought? Anaconda brought as much negative feedback as it did positive because of the sexual lyrics and dances. Why do people view Anaconda so negatively? It's just a song. Using Anaconda, people viewed Nicki Minaj as an overly sexualized black woman and used her as a stereotype to represent all black women. Previously in her career, Nicki Minaj made the music video Starships, which overall had a pretty positive following. So why did people like that song so much more than Anaconda? Well, I'll explain in this video why. The ruling class of American society has decided what things would be viewed as positive and what would be viewed negatively. The ruling class can ultimately shape the way we as a society can view our own society. Let me start by first explaining the terms. The ruling class can be defined as the class which has the ruling material force of society and is at the same time its ruling intellectual force. The class which has the means of material production at its disposal consequently also controls the means of mental production, so that the ideas of those who lack the means of mental production are on the whole subject to it. The individuals composing the ruling class possess, among other things, consciousness, and therefore think. Insofar, therefore, as they rule as a class and determine the extent and compass of a historical epic, it is self-evident that they do this in its whole range. Hence, among other things, rule also as thinkers, as producers of ideas, and regulate the production and distribution of the ideas of their age. Thus, their ideas are the ruling ideas of the epic. These ruling ideas are the same ruling ideas that we can find in any of our state law books, and are the same ideas that are enforced by armies, police, and the justice system. This brings me to the discussion of the next term, ISAs and RSA. RSA stands for Repressive State Apparatus and contains what belongs to the public domain. The government, the administration, the army, the police, the courts, the prisons, and things like that. ISAs, however, in plural. There are multiple ISAs that can be found in today's society. Those are the religious ISA, the educational ISA, the family ISA, the legal ISA, the political ISA, the trade union ISA, the communication ISA, and the cultural ISA. While the RSA functions by violent repression, ISAs function by ideology. RSAs and ISAs aren't reduced to just repression or ideology. There may be instances where repression and ideology may be used in both of them. For example, the army and police can also function by ideology to ensure their own cohesion and reproduction, and in the values they propound externally. Conversely, the cultural apparatus uses censorship to repress knowledge that can be gained by an unwanted audience.
He looks like a turtle caught in headlights.
The ruling class holds state power and has at its disposal RSAs. And the ruling class is active in ISAs and is ultimately the ruling ideology. Society believes what is true is what's presented to them on newscasts. If they hear a reliable source say it, it must be true. Here's an example of something recent occurring and has been covered by different news companies all over the nation. We're all very familiar with the events in Ferguson, whether we want to be or not, because it's all over the news and social media. Here's a clip of a slightly problematic interview between a Fox News anchor, Megyn Kelly, and Bill O'Reilly.
So do you believe in the white privilege theory?
It's got a lot of evidence behind it. If you look at the statistics, Bill, they're alarming. And I did a little research before the segment, just to tick off a few for your viewers. Black unemployment rate in Ferguson is 3 times the white unemployment rate. Black men between the ages of 16 and 24 have an almost 50% unemployment rate. For whites, it's 16%. In the United States, a black child is almost 4 times as likely to live in a poor neighborhood as a white child is. 20% of white kids are in single-parent homes. 52% of black kids are. The incarceration rate is 6 times higher for blacks than it is for whites. There's segregated housing in Ferguson. There's underperforming schools. Both of those correlate strongly with low prospects in life.
Did you see it? Here, let's go back and rewind that.
Between the ages of 16 and 24 have an almost 50% unemployment rate. For whites, it's 16%. In the United States, a black child is
And
almost...
pause. Why is it that when she's reading off important stats, that they suddenly show footage of black people rioting in Ferguson? The riot footage was in no way related to the stats that she presented, and gives people a negative view of what happened, of the events in Ferguson, while she's reading important facts about monetary and economic issues between black people and white people. Some people look at black culture in a negative light, and this certainly didn't help. Perhaps they could have found a better clip? The ideological representation of ideology is itself forced to recognize that every subject endowed with a consciousness and believing in the ideas that his consciousness inspires in him and freely accepts must act according to his ideas. This brings in the concept of a hegemony. Hegemony refers to a situation in which a provisional alliance of certain social groups can exert total social authority over subordinate groups by winning and shaping consent so that the power of the dominant classes appears both legitimate and natural. And, therefore, they succeed in framing all competition within their range so that subordinate groups are, if not controlled, then at least contained within an ideological space which does not seem at all ideological. You can see this in the video that was just presented. While she was presenting the sad truth of some areas of black culture, they still showed the image of black people rioting in the streets, which kind of made black people look animalistic in a way. While we stereotype, we view people by the roles that they play. A role is defined as a particular set of actions, whether this would be speech, dress, or maybe gestures. The establishment of normalcy through social and stereotypes is one aspect of the habit of ruling groups to attempt to fashion the whole of society according to their views. In this video, it is clear that this is exactly what we are understood to believe. That black culture and videos like Anaconda are negative. We see here in an article by Time a particularly angry-looking picture of Nicki Minaj in an article explaining why she was chopping a banana off in her video. Without even reading the article, we can see that this is sort of a negative view on the Anaconda video. Opening with, hint, feminism. She's not saying any more about it. It goes on to mention that she fell asleep during the interview several times, and another sarcastic comment by the interviewer. Music is well known for all of its genres. Genres are just categories for the way people express their feelings and opinions, or how people tell their stories. So why people have taken so much offense to Nicki's Anaconda video is beyond me. In the end, it's just a song. We should recognize when the ruling class is wanting us to see certain things about certain people. Hopefully this video has made people aware of when media is trying to shape certain stories. And remember to only believe the facts.